No one in the hospital room could speak. The monitor's dull beep slowed, each sound more drawn out than the last, echoing like the ticking of a fading clock. A small, frail boy lay motionless beneath a tangle of wires and tubes, his face pale, lips slightly parted. His mother clutched his hand, silently praying, begging for a miracle. Doctors whispered numbers and vitals behind masks of professionalism, but even they couldn't deny it. Ryan had less than 3 minutes left to live. Then, without warning, a dog burst through the ICU doors, panting, muddy, eyes wild with desperation. What that dog did next would defy science, silence doctors, and rewrite what everyone thought they knew about life, love, and the unspoken power of connection. Backhand index pointing right. If you believe in kindness, second chances, or the unshakable loyalty of animals, please like, comment, share, and subscribe to Pawsitive Tales. Let's spread stories that restore faith in humanity, one pawprint at a time. Ryan Morgan had been fighting for his life for 8 long months. He was only 9 years old, but the cancer in his brain had advanced faster than any treatment could chase. He had once been a spark of joy, curious eyes, big dreams, a laugh that could light up a city block. But illness doesn't wait for dreams. His days were replaced with chemotherapy, surgeries, cold hospital beds, and the quiet, terrifying moments when even the nurses didn't know what to say. His mother, Elise, never left his side. She memorized every twitch of his fingers, every blink of his eyes. The thought of losing him was something she simply refused to allow. Yet here they were on what doctors gently referred to as the final stages. What they meant was, he wouldn't survive the night. But Ryan wasn't just a boy who loved space and superheroes. He had a best friend. Her name was Luna. A golden retriever with honey-colored fur and a heart big enough to carry his burdens. Luna wasn't just a dog, she had been by Ryan's side from the day he was born. When he first learned to crawl, it was toward Luna. When he lost his hair during chemo, Luna would curl beside him, warm and soft, as if guarding his soul. But when the hospital banned non-service animals from the ICU, Luna wasn't allowed to visit anymore. Ryan had stopped smiling after that. Elise had begged the hospital for an exception. She argued that Luna wasn't just a pet, she was family. She had brought letters from therapists, doctors, and specialists who supported the idea that animals could reduce pain, even extend life. But regulations are ironclad in institutions built on risk management. Luna stayed at home, waiting by the door every day at 4 p.m., the exact time Ryan used to come home from school. Every day, she waited. And every day, she returned to her bed alone. Then came that night. It had rained heavily, and the streets outside were slick with water and leaves. Elise had fallen asleep next to Ryan's bed, his little hand still inside hers. At 2:37 a.m., monitors started to beep erratically. The nurse rushed in, followed by 2 doctors. They examined his heart rate, his oxygen levels. Everything was dropping. Elise jolted awake and froze. One doctor murmured to another, "He's got maybe 3 minutes. Prepare her." Elise let out a cry that didn't sound human, raw, broken, full of a kind of pain that splits the earth. What happened next has no rational explanation. Security footage later confirmed it. Somehow, Luna had escaped from Elise's apartment over 6 miles away. She had torn through a gate, crossed highways, dodged traffic, even slipped through the hospital's automatic doors just as a janitor walked out. Dripping wet, coated in grime, Luna raced through the hospital corridors, ignoring shouting nurses and startled visitors. She knew exactly where to go. Straight to the ICU. Straight to room 306. Straight to Ryan. When she reached him, no one stopped her. Luna leapt onto the bed, careful not to tangle in the wires. She rested her head on Ryan's chest, letting out a soft, low whine. The monitors flatlined. But Luna didn't move. Her eyes closed. Her breathing slowed, syncing with Ryan's. One doctor moved to pull her off the bed, but Elise, through tears, begged them to stop. Then, without any logical reason, Ryan twitched. The monitor beeped. Once. Then again. Then again. A breath. A soft, fragile inhale. Ryan's chest moved. The room exploded into motion. Nurses rushed to his side. Doctors shouted orders. The on-call neurologist appeared within seconds. They checked and rechecked his vitals, but everything pointed to the same impossible truth: Ryan was stabilizing. Not just a faint spike on the monitor, but full cardiac rhythm. His pulse returned. His brain activity flickered with faint but unmistakable light. Luna didn't move. She stayed pressed to Ryan's chest, calm, watchful, like she had waited all this time just for this moment. Over the next several hours, Ryan's condition continued to improve. He didn't wake up immediately, but doctors were stunned. What had begun as final moments turned into a critical watch period. Then, a day later, Ryan opened his eyes. Not with confusion or panic, but with the quiet awareness of someone who had walked through darkness and seen a familiar light leading him home. The first thing he said, raspy, weak, was, "Luna?" Tears streamed down Elisa's face. Nurses cried. One of the doctors, a hardened trauma specialist of over 20 years, simply shook his head and muttered, "I've never seen anything like this. Ever." The media picked up the story within days. Scientists speculated about latent consciousness, the power of sensory memory, the chemical impact of emotional bonds. But none of their explanations could fully account for what had happened. Luna wasn't trained in any special way. She wasn't certified as a medical service animal. She was simply love, pure and unfiltered. In the weeks that followed, Ryan's health continued to improve beyond all projections. Neurologists re-reviewed his scans. Tumors that had once appeared inoperable were now shrinking. Some believed it was the treatment kicking in late. Others said it was psychosomatic. But Elise believed something deeper, that in the final minutes of his life, it wasn't science that pulled Ryan back, it was love. Loyal, unconditional, four-legged love. Today, Ryan is 14. His cancer is in remission. Luna, now older and slower, still waits for him at the door each afternoon. Their bond is unbreakable, forged in a moment when time had all but run out. Luna's final act, the act of returning to him when everyone else had given up, forced doctors to question everything they thought they knew about the limits of medicine, and the limitless depth of the heart. Paw Prints. If this story moved you, even a little, if it reminded you of the power of love, hope, and the invisible thread that connects us, please like, comment, share, and subscribe to Pawsitive Tales. Your support helps us bring more heartwarming stories to light. Sparkle special request: if you've ever experienced an unforgettable bond with an animal, or believe that love can truly perform miracles, please tell us your story in the comments below. We read every one, and they inspire us more than you know.